The Colorado River is the lifeline of the western United States, and now it's drying up. That's just the beginning of the problems facing the river and those who rely on it.
I got this one.
Calling this a struggle would be an understatement.
For both recreational and commercial trips that are operating here on Cataract Canyon, takeouts are everything.
But it's the only option to get in and out of the Colorado River.
It's not safe to get a vehicle close to the water's edge.
You guys good?
You used to be able to back a truck into the water off this ramp, but the river has completely changed.
Because the river isn't even supposed to be right here. The river's supposed to be way over on that other side of the wall.
River scientists say it's a result of decades of droughts and the creation of the reservoirs, only made worse by climate change.
As Lake Powell continues to drop lower, we're worried.
I think we're good.
The river runs through 7 states and Mexico.
We have a river that 40 million people are dependent on.
Predictions show for every degree Celsius that it warms up, the Colorado River will lose 20% of its flow.
Current projections say that we may be 2 degrees Celsius warmer. That could be 40% of the river. And if someone cut 40% out of your paycheck, you would have to make some big changes in your life.
This is Haight, Utah.
Did you guys have a feeling for just how truly in the middle of nowhere this is?
And this was once the upper end of Lake Powell, one of the country's 2 main reservoirs.
What are the biggest things facing this area and this body of water right now?
The declining levels of Lake Mead and Lake Powell, which together are at about 30% full, is an enormous crisis in water supply management.
River scientist Jack Schmidt has been doing research here for decades, but he's never seen the river this low.
And the problem is when the reservoirs are at 30% full, now there's no buffer.
No buffer means we have few options.
Reducing consumptive use to match inflow is the single thing we have no choice but to do right now to deal with this.
It's what he says needs to happen to supply those who rely on the Colorado. However, it's not nearly as simple as that.
The level of change is so drastic that you just can't help but shake your head and think that we didn't get it right.
Mike Dehoff, the principal investigator of the Returning Rapids Project, knows this land better than most.
We're watching a river recover itself like it nowhere else on the planet.
His project focuses on documenting the recovery of the river resources once inundated by a full Lake Powell.
And our question was, when's the next rapid coming back? Where is it going to be? Is it going to be the same place it was? Is it going to look the same as it was before the dam or not?
The lower levels of water have allowed them to discover resources beneath.
Part of our Returning Rapids project, we have found cultural sites that were underwater and under the mud that are coming back out.
Those guys are making it appropriately much harder to just casually say, well, if we have more water this year, let's put it in Lake Powell. What they're doing is causing pause, right? Because putting more water in Lake Powell means drowning all these things that have popped out.
And Mike will argue maybe refilling Lake Powell isn't the answer. He says there's a better way to store water while holding on to the river's resources.
Lake Powell is going away and the Colorado River is taking back its corridor.
How does it make you feel to say that?
Proud. Yeah.
In Haight, Utah, with photojournalist Drew Snadicki, I'm Jesse Cohen reporting.